you're sort of left with, two ex-England internationals who both have done, good jobs at managing. I would say, if I'm being honest, Frank is probably a little bit further along his managerial career than Wayne. Wayne, I think, is doing a great job at Derby, and if he manages to keep them in that division, which still looks very unlikely, but it would be an absolutely amazing achievement. I think it's probably a little bit too early, if I'm being honest, with Wayne, although he's had two of the better managers that we've had in the Premier League of recent years. It's something that you undoubtedly learn from having those managers, and he'll probably be using a lot of their tactics in what he's doing himself, which is always great. I think Frank is just a little bit further along, having had a year in the Premier League, and probably for me is the one that's a little bit ahead at the moment. But I guess the managers aren't out there really that you want to be available to take Everton forward, going into the next few seasons.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating, and it's something that the club doesn't need at the moment. I think the board and the owner are under pressure from the supporters, and I think really an early sort of getting somebody in, not just for the short-term sort of firefight of the next few games, but going forward as well is important. So this is a vitally important decision that the club make on who they appoint, and sort of things like yesterday, you sort of don't really help that situation, I'm afraid. I can't help thinking it's probably not a good career move, if I'm perfectly honest, because surely you interview as well as you can. You hope you get the job. You get your Sky interview anyway, to lay out exactly what you want. You'll get the opportunity to talk to the press, having got the job. I think it's certainly a brave move, and we'll find out, I guess, fairly soon whether it was foolish or not. But I think because he's been interviewed a couple of times before by Everton, I think he wanted to let everybody know how good his English was, and how much he's improved in that department. And I think it just comes across as a little bit too desperate to get the job for me.
Yeah. Do you understand why fans are so angry?
Yeah, of course. They're frustrated. They're frustrated at what they're watching on the pitch. They're frustrated at the league position, and they're frustrated that the decisions probably made regarding managers, have been proven not to be the correct ones. So they live and breathe it. It's their life. Some people, and they have that right to have protests and show their displeasure at what they're seeing. And I think that's something that the club has always, certainly since I've been involved, and since I finished, obviously I take a lot of interest in what happens. The club has always got an ear to its supporters, so the protest won't be going unheard. They'll be hopefully heeding what they're hearing. Personally, I know Bill Kenwright, and I know how passionate he is for Everton. I've sort of sat and spoken with him, on what he wants, and he wants what is best for Everton. And I know that, for fact. I don't know the new owner, but he seems like somebody who's there for the long term, and delivering a new stadium and everything. So going forward, that it kind of looks like you've got people in place that want the best. It's just the decisions being made in and around them need to be better, I think, and that's possibly what the supporters are showing their displeasure at the board, at the at the owner, at the decisions possibly being made, and the fear, I think, that builds underneath, getting dragged into a real relegation fight.